Whoa, is my hair out? So in America, the roads are king. And if you don't have a decent car, your options to be self-employed are very narrow if you don't have a car. So that's what I'm going to do in this episode. I'm going to give you the basics of how to find a car and buy a car on Capital Auto Auction. And that's coming up next on Houston's Hustle Hobbies. Another episode of Houston's Hustle Hobbies. This is a show where I like to talk about all the ways that I like to make and save money, because at the end of the day, hustling's my hobby. So, if you live in the Philadelphia and you need a beater car, I want to introduce you to CapitalAutoAuction.com. Now, I've gotten a lot of different cars from here, about 5 different cars that I've gotten for ridiculously low prices. Keeping in mind, this is before the pandemic. So we're talking, cheapest car I ever got was a Kia Rio for $290 plus dealer fees. Needless to say, this is one of these sites where it would behoove you to know a couple of things about it. Now, before we start, first thing you need is a driver's license, because you'll need your driver's license number and a credit card or debit card to begin the registering process, which you can do online right on the Capital Auto Auction website. So first off, we have complete account type. That's if you're a business or just an individual getting a car. Like a lot of car dealers go to these auctions to get the cars that they put on their lot. Then you complete an account information form. That's basically filling out all your information. This payment/billing information form is where you would put in your credit card or debit card for when you buy the car. And then you have to upload your photo ID and driver's license. And that's pretty much the whole process. It takes about 5-10 minutes tops. And then once after you've registered, you can just scroll on down. You can do this before you register just to have a look at things, to look at what auction is happening when and the cars that will be there. And as you can see, the dates are pretty clearly marked. We'll look for the first Philadelphia auto auction because that's who I'm doing this for, some of my riders that are in the Philadelphia area. So we'll click on Run List. And once you click on Run List, it'll give you a list of what's going to be auctioned off. So the way I like to do this is I like to sort this by lowest miles, so we can find a car with the lowest miles on it, obviously, so that can be in the thinking is that it'll be in the best condition. And as you can see, they start off with everything. Boats, they got a lot of different things here, motorcycles, work trucks, but we'll find the lowest mileage car that's reasonable, like this 2015 Ford Escape. Now, before we get started, I want to point out a couple things to you. So if we're looking at this 2015 Ford Escape, you want to look at the Escape. You want to look at these couple of bits of information at a glance. So the first bit of information is to see if the car is running. You want to see running, because that's the way you know if the car runs and drives. If it says starts, then you know you have a transmission problem. And if it says it's not running, then it's not running. So jumping in here, we'll go to View Details. And immediately you have all different pictures and angles of what the car is and how it looks like. You can look on the 360 interior of the car and see what's going on in there. You can even run a video to listen to how the engine's running. So I hear a little bit of valve tapping in that car. So, I'm a little worried about it. Maybe slow on oil, but we'll look at it just because. So I will look at the information, and it gives you very limited information on the car, but of course, since you have the VIN number, you can look up the car's Carfax on Carfax, or, just do the work yourself, because after all, this is an auction car. So it does give you a condition report, as you can see right here. That will let you know that the windshield is chipped, and it lets you know that it has minor dings and scratches. So say hypothetically, if you like this car, you would put your bid in here. As you can see, this bid is already pretty high, but now it's time for me to give you the secrets of Capital Auto Auction. Now, most people are looking for your Toyotas and your Hondas, so they're going to be extremely high. Your less reliable car makers, such as a Chrysler, will be significantly lower, like this 2007 PT Cruiser that's nobody's bidding on it for, and it's going for $200 right now. Or this 1993 Dodge Shadow, which is a 40-year-old car by this point, 30-year-old car by this point, is also going for $200, and it has only 53,000 miles on it. And then they have these mechanic specials like this Honda, which is only $200, but as you can see, it's not running. So this is a mechanic special. Maybe some mechanic might know the special zhuzh to put on it to get it running and make a nice flip out of it. But if you're just a regular casual car buyer, stay away from a car like this. It's going to cost you too much money and headache after you get it. Now, I am no mechanic, but I am a car enthusiast, and I can give you a couple of helpful tips. Anything 05 to 19 Fords, stay away from Fords because they have bad transmission. Especially the cars, Fords and Lincolns, stay away from them because of the transmission. But here's an interesting car that will do you well. This 2005 Buick LaCrosse, which is bidding for only $500. Now, the reason why I like Buicks is because personally, I've owned two Buicks with the 3800 engine in it. And I know for a fact, despite it being a big old V6 and a tiny passenger car, that this 3800 is the easiest to work on. As you can see, everything is up top. And on top of that, it is one of the most robust and most reliable engines that they make. They couple it to a 4-speed four-speed GM transmission. Well, I think it's 5-speed now. But either way, both of those are bulletproof. So you want to find a car like this and then just put subsequent money into it, and it'll do you good for about 3 to 5 years. And another weird secret is if you start to see unreliable cars hanging around the 200,000 mile mark, most people would kind of shy away from them, but for myself, I would say maybe look into it, because a car that is, notably unreliable as a Jaguar S-Type, which comes from Ford back around that time, might have some pretty decent maintenance records on it. So you can kind of roll the dice, and you might have yourself a nice project car that, you would put some work into. And this is me. Another tip that I would give to somebody is I would stay away from known reliable cars over 250 or 300,000 miles, like the Honda Pilot, because this was probably owned by a soccer mom who did minimal maintenance. They might have heard a sound. They might have went to their local mechanic. They might have skipped some oil changes. So, Hondas are known to be robust, but every car breaks. So be careful of that. So once you win your bid, there'll be, you'll have to, of course, do your tax tag and title. You would have to go down to the site in Philadelphia. It's on Bly Avenue, just off of State Road. If you get off the Cottman exit, it's literally about 200 yards just off that exit to the left. There'll be a place called Daily Auto Tags. You'll need about $250 to $300 for your tax tag title. They're going to want you to get insurance, and they expect for you to get that on your own. You can sit there and call, maybe Progressive or the General, right on your phone while you're standing there, or just literally put your information in on the internet, and all I need to see is you need to email them proof of insurance for them to give you your tax tag title and keys. And that's all there is to it. Everything else is up to you. You want to have a mechanic or yourself go over all of the major fluids before you drive it. And that's it. You'll have a car for less than $2,000 all in, compared to some of the used car prices for today. I think this is a win, and something that a lot of people need, because as we know in America, the difference between poverty and making it is having some reliable wheels, because this is a car-based country, and it's very important that you have this. Find a horse and take care of it, and it'll take care of you. Thanks so much for listening to me. I've been Patrick Houston from Houston's Hustle Hobbies, and as always, live high, live mighty, and most of all, live righteously. Take it easy.